Good morning, everyone. Just first want to start off by saying thank you to all of you for taking time out of your day to join us. Got an exciting presentation for you today. We're going to talk about a preset appointment program we've got available here at IAMS. Um, been doing business with them for a couple of years now, having a lot of success in that. So, for those of you who don't know, my name is Laura Johnson. I work here at IAMS on the Annuity team, one of the sales managers. So, feel free to reach out to me if there's ever anything you need on the annuity side. But I'm going to go through a few intro slides here, just a couple housekeeping things. We're going to be kind of doing an open mic kind of presentation today, talking about the program. So as questions pop up, go ahead and type them in the questions box, and we'll address those as we go through the presentation today. Also, I'm going to have a couple poll questions here at the beginning. As I go through my intro slides, the quicker we get those answered, the quicker we get going. So first, I'm going to start off by talking about a few incentive programs we have available here at IAMS. First one being our new producer bonus. I think this is probably one of our best incentives for people who are just getting going with IAMS. It's just a really great opportunity for agents in the field to get for us to be able to partner with you off those first pieces of business that you do with IAMS. So as you can see on the screen, we've got 5 different tiers, whole lot of different marketing themes available for you, anywhere from radio to seminars to cash to marketing and reimbursement dollars. Just a lot of great things available for you. So you have 180 days to qualify. So from the date you get contracted with IAMS, 180 days, 6 months to qualify, as you can see for any of the tiers on here. If you are curious where you are, if you qualified, maybe you just got past your 6 months, reach out to your marketer at IAMS. They'll be able to tell you if you qualified. This is just reach out to them. They can let you know kind of where you stand. Once you move out of your new producer bonus time frame, we do move you into a marketing reimbursement program. So for every 100,000 of indexed annuity premium, you're going to get $100 put in a marketing account for you. For every 100,000 of single premium life, that's equivalent to $200. And for every 10,000 of life target premium, that's equivalent to $200 as well. So just a great way for us to kick back a little to you for the business you're doing, say thank you, and we'll put that in a marketing account that can be used for any marketing expenses. We also have a referred producer program. If you've been in the business any length of time, you know referrals are important to you. They're just as important to IAMS here for us. So what we've done is we've designed this referred producer program. Some agents maybe aren't looking to take on the responsibility of downlines, potential chargebacks, maybe just don't want the extra responsibility. So a way we've done this is that if you want to refer an agent up to us, we'll get you $50 when they get appointed. And then as you can see, there's breakdown there, a little bit of an override that will kick back to you on the business that they do right with IAMS. And again, this is just us saying thank you for the referral. This override portion doesn't come out of your commission. It doesn't come out of your clients or your referees commission. This is just us saying thank you. So it comes out of our pocket. So just a great way to earn some extra money off of those referrals. So if you have someone in mind that maybe you're getting some good service here at IAMS, you really like what we're doing for you, get that name, email address, phone number over to your marketer, and they'll be happy to follow up with that agent for you. Insurance agency marketing service. That is our name, and service is our number one goal. You know, when talking to agents, and we're not looking to be the biggest FMO out there, but when it comes to service, we do want to be considered number one in that space. And I mean, that's helping you from A to Z, everywhere from case design. We're insurance based, so very easy contracting thing process. Getting all the forms you need. The new business teams do a great job, what we call submission to commission support. That means scrubbing your app, following up on your business every 2 to 3 business days. That's chasing down parameds. That's or ordering your parameds, chasing down medical records, calling transferring companies, checking status on funds. Whatever we can take off your plate, do for you internally to keep you in the field, that's really the goal here at IAMS. We are excited to be partnered with Firelight, with Insurance Technologies. Show you this screen, which kind of shows you all the carriers that we do have on Firelight. Carriers, majority of them are on Firelight. A couple things I'm going to speak on with Firelight is Number one, doing it through our website is a single sign-on access, to all these carriers' e-apps. If you're like me, hate remembering passwords, this is for you. You can log into IAMS website and you can apply put an application in for any of those carriers you see on the screen. Nice thing about doing it through our website is it does come to us first for a high level review. We take a look at suitability, take a look and see if there's any major red flags, and before we get it off to the carrier. Also, we'll be able to verify your contracting, product training, all that before the app actually makes it to the carrier. One thing I will tell you right now, with interest rates being as high as they've been last 10, 15 years, which is great for our business, we've seen a huge influx of business going to the carriers. So a lot of carriers right now have lengthy hold times. Their processing times are way outside of normal. What I will tell you is if you do a Firelight application, that'll speed up getting through suitability on sometimes up to 5 days faster. So that's a real advantage to Firelight, is that it moves your business through a little faster as well. If you haven't worked with our creative team, I encourage you to reach out to them. Jacob, Curtis, and their team do a phenomenal job for our agents. I mean, anywhere from someone who's new in the business needing a logo design to business cards to maybe you're in the Medicare field and looking for a way to market to clients on the off season, doing the newsletter maybe. Maybe you're looking to do some digital stuff, Facebook marketing. Maybe you'll need a website. Those things we can do internally here at IAMS. We've got the people here, the right staff in place to be able to handle those requests and pump those things out for you. So if there's something you're looking to have designed, reach out to your marketer, kind of give them an idea of what you're looking to do. And what they'll do is they'll get you connected with the correct person in the creative team that you can talk with. If you haven't gone out to our website, I encourage you to write it down, and take some time to check it out later today or whenever. www.imsinc.com. Not going to bore you and go through the whole thing, but I will tell you there's some really great things out here. A couple things we've recently added. We've got now under the news tab and on the move section. So on the annuity side, every week we post all the rate changes coming up. So a great way to just kind of check out who's changing rates, where things are going. We do give you access to Annuity Rate Watch through our website. So if you ever call me for an income quote, I go to Annuity Rate Watch to see who's going to be the best. You do have access to that through our website. You can access forms. There's a nice term quoting system where you can go from doing the quote to just automatically applying, doing the e-app right there. And just a lot of great things. Also, our sales resource library. That's one of my favorite spots on the website as well. It's under the support tab, but it's a library of materials for you all in the field. I mean, fact finders, probably 30, 40 different fact finders, financial calculators, client presentations, PowerPoints, a lot of great information out there. So maybe you got a client who says, what's a fixed indexed annuity? Well, I can tell you there's a 12-page document under the sales resource library that'll tell your client everything they need to know about an indexed annuity. So a lot of great information out there. And then, like I said, Firelight. And under the e-app solutions, you actually have access to Firelight. You got access to iGo e-app for the life side, and we've got Connect to Medicare for the Medicare side. So regardless if it's life, annuity, or Medicare, you can do all those e-apps through our website. If you weren't aware, we do have a sister company, IAMS Wealth Management, started 4 or 5 years ago, maybe now. When the DOL was kind of looming over all of us, we said it was time, and we started an RIA. So we do have an RIA here in Omaha. They are in a separate location, but our sister company work hand in hand, same goals, same service levels. And we've got kind of 2 portions to what we do on the wealth management side. Number one, if you're a registered rep, 65, 66, potentially if you have your CFP, we can get you registered with IAMS Wealth Management. But then we've also got a client portion. I think this is really important because I know a lot of agents go into a household, and let's just say the client has $500,000. Well, we know that an insurance company is probably on the annuity side only going to take $300,000 of that. So what are you going to do with that other $200,000 if you're not if you don't have a home for it and you can't go into the annuity. That's where we think it's really important to have an outlet. So we do have a client portion to IAMS Wealth Management as well, where you can refer your clients up to Zach with our wealth management team. He will handle the security side of that client for you. You handle the annuity, and you know that another agent's not potentially going to come in there and steal that client. And that's also great for some of you who may be studying to become 65 registered. You know, you can refer those clients up, and then once you pass your test, we will transfer all those clients directly to you. So I think it's really important to have both avenues available for agents. So if you're interested in either seeing our platform or maybe taking advantage of that client portion, just go ahead and answer yes to the poll question I just threw up. And that'll just get a call from Duncan Smith in my office. He's going to reach out, answer any questions you may have, and kind of guide you through what that process looks like. So you guys can go ahead and answer that yes or no. We can get moving on here. Alrighty. Only a couple more slides and we'll get to the good stuff. Life and Annuity Academies. These are, I think, probably the best training opportunity I see in the industry. And this is a 2.5 day, all expense paid. So we're covering your flights, your meals, your hotels. And it's not annuities 101. It's not life insurance 101. This is an in-depth, how could we help you grow your business? The way we do that is we bring in some of our top producers who are going to come in and share their exact marketing plan with you. This is what we're doing. This is where this is how I'm getting in front of new clients. This is how I'm closing more business. Here's how I went from being $1 million producer to a $5 million producer. They're going to share exactly what they're doing. We're going to bring in some keynote speakers. We also partner usually with the home office. Our next dates, if you want to jot these down, is going to be November 2nd through the 4th. And we are going to be partnering with Athene on this one. So we will be flying you up to the luxurious Des Moines, Iowa. And we'll be doing the meetings at their home office there. So really great opportunity. Again, this isn't for someone who's brand new in the business, just trying to learn about life and annuities. This is for the producer who's right in business already and looking to take their business to the next level. So really excited about these. We do about 4 of them a year. If you are interested in potentially attending one of our academies, just answer yes to the poll question. We'll get you the invitation or the invite registration link. Now, what I will tell you about that registration link is there's a lot of questions on this. This isn't guaranteeing you a spot. This is letting us know you're interested because the carrier does have a say-so on who we bring into this meeting. So number one, we will have to get you appointed with Athene. And then Athene does have a little say-so, like I said. So they're going to pick the people who have done some business. So if we can get you appointed with Athene, get you right in some business, that'll only help your chances. So I just like to be honest and upfront with that. And like I said, we do 4 of them a year. So usually bring 30 to 40 people into each one. Agents who leave, we've seen great success of what they're doing in their business. So again, if you answered yes, we'll get you out that pre-registration form, and we will, your marketer will be in touch following that. Last thing I'm going to talk about is everyone loves trips. So we love trips here at IAMS too. We just wrapped up our qualification for our big marketing summit. They're all heading off to the Greenbrier out in West Virginia here in a couple of weeks, but we've got another, our big 18-month qualification will started over July 1st. It'll run for 18 months. That trip will be in the spring of 2024. But we do have an annual trip as well that we do partnered with Athene. So $3 million of Athene production will get you and a guest out to Park City, Utah, August of next year. So really excited. If you've ever been to Park City, it's a beautiful area in the mountains out in Utah. So $3 million of production. Now I've got even better news. We just announced that we're doing double trip credits from now till we have not announced an end date, potentially through the end of the year. So technically $1.5 million of Athene premium between now and the end of the year will get you and a guest on this trip. So really excited to partner with Athene. Again, that's Athene production written through IAMS. If you have any questions where you stand We do our monthly updates on that. So anybody who answers the phone should be able to give you your answer on where you stand. So with that, I'm going to jump in here. I'm lucky to have John on the line with me. John works with a third party that IAMS has been partnered with for a couple of years now. And we're going to kind of talk openly about this preset appointment program. Again, these aren't leads. These are appointments. These are going to be a time and a date put on your calendar appointments. During the pandemic, we all faced a lot of challenges with meeting with clients. So the nice thing about these is they are done virtually as well. So I'm going to let John talk a little bit more about that. But one thing I will mention on the virtual, a lot of people get nervous about that. But I've got a lot of agents who have ramped up their business, closing a lot more due to the fact that they can do virtual appointments. Got a group out in California who, could maybe do 2 appointments in a day due to traffic and everything. Now they're running 6 to 8 appointments a day because they're sitting at home and doing it on Zoom. So with that, John, I'm going to kind of go in here, let you kind of open up, start talking kind of about what kind of leads or appointments we generate, and then we'll just take it from there.
Thank you, Laura. Can you hear me okay?
Yep.
All right, great. Nice to meet everybody. Thanks for the opportunity to be here. So I am part of the preset appointment we do for IAMS. The way, prior to COVID, we used to do face-to-face, and with COVID, we moved into virtual, and it really has such a positive impact on all of our agents. Where we used to put agents directly with an educator, like a school teacher, face-to-face. Now nationwide, we're helping agents meet with, as Laura mentioned, multiple conversations a day. The way we reach out to them, we're talking to, I think all the marketing, like for educators, for example, K through 12, school teachers and staff, state employees, municipalities, colleges, professors and staff, and federal employees, mostly, as it mentions there, VA employees. So you get the entire staff, sometimes nurses, doctors, and other administrators. They reply to our marketing by basically deciding, sorry, looking at, prospects respond to an email. When it comes to educators, well, all of our clients are public and federal employees. So all of them are going to have an income, and then they're going to have a pension percentage of that salary. Part of our conversation, part of the IAMS training, is going to go over how we fill the gap between that. In the K through 12 market, they might talk about a 403B, 457. There's other solutions in the federal market. But life insurance and annuities are always going to end up being part of the solution and conversation. There's a great training program. All of our teams at IAMS have been very successful in taking them through a process where it's service oriented first, and the agent is helping them get to see where they're currently trending, discuss options on how to improve to get to a better goal, and showing them the solutions that basically sell themselves. Appointments are booked according to your schedule and availability. So we have a platform that you can set some preferences, like if you don't want appointments on certain days, or if you don't want to start or end at certain times, you can have set preferences. Then we'll also sync with your calendar so that we avoid double booking you. The goal for us is just to make it as simple as possible for you to sign in and fill your calendar with conversations, work around your busy, business and personal schedule, and then just allow us to try to fill up your availability. Appointments are then held virtually. Most agents may start it off with a conversation. When we market to them, to the client, they see our marketing, they have voluntarily choose to schedule an appointment, they verify their information, they may ask a question, and then they select a time and date. We take care of all the appointment setting for you. We send the reminder, we allow them to reschedule and adjust that in your schedule, and then work around your availability.
And one thing I will add on to that, John, is just for everyone on here is when a client sends that email and say, oh yeah, I want to book an appointment. I got a lot of people who ask, hey, can we limit I only want 5 appointments a week, or I want this. I want to make it very clear that it is completely based on your calendar. So I had an agent once leave the calendar wide open. Next thing you know, he had 30 appointments for the week. So you really want to start, pick some we'll talk about the territories here in a minute and how to do this, but it's 100% based on your calendar. So you want to make sure that your calendar is set for maybe the next few weeks, because some appointments are booked up to a month out. The clients really just get an email, they click on it, they come up, pick a calendar, they pick a date and a time, and then the system gives that appointment to whatever agent has that opening on their calendar. So I just really want to reiterate that, because that's a question I get a lot of times is, can we limit the amount of appointments or put a cap on it? And that's on that front.
Yeah, thank you, Laura. I think a lot of agents that I work with, they've come from the lead generation model of receiving a list, and then that list may have been resold to 2 or 3 other people, agents, and then you're calling that list trying to schedule an appointment. The great thing about our appointments is that they're all exclusive. We don't resell to any other agents, so you're the only person contacting them to provide a service and build a relationship. You get a huge advantage because nobody's calling behind you to steal your client. So we've taken that exclusive list and then we've scheduled the appointment for you. And we, across the board, we see over 80%, 90% show rates with IAMS has fantastic best practices with all the teams and great success in sit rate. As you see there, the majority of agents are talking about 403B and 457 enrollments. You're getting a lot of life insurance, IULs, annuity conversations, and rollovers.
And one thing I will add on that is, when we talk about the average age of a client, what would you say, John, is the average age of a client who's booking an appointment?
Well, we definitely attempt to there's a lot of retirement, know where you're at, know what you have now and what options you can take to take your benefits into retirement or talk about guaranteed income when you retire. We try our best to capture those that are getting 10 years or less towards a retirement. That's the majority of the conversation, is trying to get those that are closer and have some assets to move. You do occasionally get some agents that are younger, but I think we have solutions. I think the biggest part about that, I mean, your average age, I think, is in their mid 30s to mid 40s. 15 to 25 years of work experience. I think that's the average that we see. But it is also, I think, the feedback that I get from agents is these appointments get your foot in the door to some areas with public and federal employees. If you haven't worked with them in the past, they get very little support from their employer, and they're incredibly high probability of getting referrals because they're not used to getting a boutique service of a one-to-one relationship that helps them understand what they have and options that they have.
Yeah, and I will echo that. I mean, even with and when I'm talking with agents getting in the program, we'll talk a little bit about some training opportunities we have toward the end. But let's just say we're going in the federal hospital. I tell everyone that gets on these appointments, you could be talking to the doctor who's about to retire, has a nice TSP that he could roll over. You could be talking to the nurse who's got 15 more years, 20 years and maybe an IUL is a good fit for her. You could be talking to the front desk lady, the checking people in, who's a single mom and has kids at home and has no life insurance. So you can't be closed-minded. You don't want to be closed-minded and just be looking for one thing. You need to be knowledgeable, I would say, and have some experience in both life and annuities, because you're going to run into a lot of opportunities on both ends. I've seen it time and time again where agents are, one of my big groups we'll talk about here at the end. I mean, last year they wrote 5 million of annuity and 100,000 of life target premium because they opened it up for whatever that client's needs were. And I think that I will echo what John said as far as the amount of service that they receive from their employer is nothing compared to what an agent's going to go out there and do for them. So, all right, let me get to the next slide
And,
here.
and
Oh, go
just
ahead.
to add to that, Laura, and you're right, the conversation includes, among others, is helping them understand what they currently have with their employer as far as life insurance, which is typically the bare bones. And when they understand what it's worth and what it covers, and it doesn't cover as much, that it also typically goes away before, at the time of retirement, and doesn't go with them into retirement. That's where IULs are such a huge success in a solution to allow them to control that and take it with them in retirement.
Agree 100%. So you want to talk a little bit about the calendar here, kind of explain how this looks, John?
Yeah, this is a screenshot of our, so every agent will have a profile that you log into. We'll discuss, I help everybody with setting up their account. We'll discuss which appointment type is best suited for you, and work on the markets that you want, where you're licensed at. We're nationwide, so you can get appointments in multiple states. What you see in gray here are some preferences. Um, it says no description, but behind that it probably says not available, until 9 o'clock or something, Monday through Friday. Our appointments default to 7 to 7, Monday through Friday. Weekends are available. There's a lot of appointments on the weekends because most agents block their calendar, and there's a lot of public employees that are available on the weekend. But the green are actual appointments. That this example here, this agent has a lot of availability. If we're able to sync with your calendar, it will show up in blue as blocking out time, so that we don't, you don't show that you're available in our system. And maybe you have to pick up kids on Wednesday at 3, you can block out that time, or you're going to the gym on Thursday, you can block out that time. So this is just the online calendar that helps organize. If you use a Google Calendar on your side, there's a link that you could put these appointments in your personal calendar. But again, that's part of the setup. This is a screenshot from our agent portal, and we walk you through. It takes like 15-20 minutes to set up, and we walk you through it.
And then the one thing with the calendar that I would mention is, like on this one, we were clicking on a certain appointment. The client can also put notes in there, of what they're looking for. Sometimes or best phone number to call them. I mean, they could leave you little notes or different things in there as well, so you kind of have an idea what they're looking for in the appointment. And then the other thing I'd mention on the calendar, as I mentioned it earlier, is when people book appointments, they could be booking them out a month. So it's good to be about a month ahead on your calendar. I know appointments pop up as soon as they do. You'll want to add those to your Google Calendar, so it adds it to this, or link them together so that you're not double booking appointments.
Yeah.
The other
And
thing I was going to say is, do you want to touch on how they how they get notified something got put on their calendar?
so when the client chooses to create an appointment, again, as you see in that example, they'll verify their information, how they want to be contacted, and then they can add a note. Immediately, the client receives a confirmation email that they created this appointment, and then that appointment goes into our network and finds an agent available, and the agent then receives a text message and an email with the details of the appointment. It says, okay, you have an appointment coming up, next Tuesday at 11, for example. 24 hours before the appointment, the client gets another notification saying, hey, reminder, you set up this appointment. So we're trying to not only let them pick whatever is the most convenient time for them, but we're just reminding them, like any doctor's office would do, a reminder the day before. At that point, they can respond to us to cancel, reschedule, modify it. And if they make any changes, you're immediately notified. But the best practice and the most common is you get this information, you get their location, what organization they work for, their contact info, phone number and email, and their note prior to that, so that you can prepare and do any research you need to prior to the appointment. But best practices are just calling at the appointment and allowing us to set it, and we take care of all the reminders.
The one other thing for those people who kind of were, are concerned about the calendar and getting too many appointments, being that you get a text every time you get an appointment. I tell guys, if you got 4 appointments on a day already and you don't really want more than that this week, jump in and block out your calendar for the rest of the day or whatever, So that, again, it all goes back to your calendar. So your calendar is your prime resource when we're doing this. So I didn't update this slide, John, so I'll let you give the good news.
Well, we've had tremendous success with IAMS, and I mean, everybody I'm talking to, they're growing. They're not only growing their own personal business, but growing their teams. And recently, it was a very easy decision. We lowered the price to $59 an appointment, just because the tremendous success that we're having with IAMS and the growth that we've had with them. So the price is $59 per appointment. We don't charge for the setup. We waive any kind of monthly fees and setup fees. There's no contract, meaning there's no obligation for you to buy a certain amount of appointments. It's a pay-as-you-go system. It's just a credit card on file that charges for the appointment on the day of the appointment. There's no obligation to continue. We encourage you to have a mindset of having 20 to 30 conversations. That's the best way of measuring your ROI, having that's a good sample size. But we're working with you. We're very motivated to helping you have success and grow your business. I've had so many agents that I started with saying they only love face-to-face. And when I got them more conversations and more conversion of sales, we've helped them get off to great starts and with virtual appointments. So we
I was typing an answer to a question. So just
Yeah.
someone questioned, it is 59 now, not 64. I forgot to update the slide before the presentation. That's something new that just happened. So I'll talk on this one just for a little bit. So here at IAMS, we want to partner with you. We want to be your back office. We want to help on a few things as well. So, with the appointments, we talked about on the last slide, it mentioned training. I'll talk about that here in a minute. And if you're looking to work in the federal space, we've actually built a full training platform with one of our successful agents, writing millions a year. This agent I mentioned, he wrote 5 million last year. Only marketing he did were these appointments last year. He wrote over 5 million in indexed annuity premium and 100,000 of target premium. And this was the only marketing they did, but they gave it a chance. You got to give it a chance. Like John said, you can't take 5 appointments and say this is crap, because that 7th appointment may be that doctor with the $1 million case, And so when you do the math on the production that agency wrote, their ROI was great. You know what I mean? And so we do have a full service training in the federal space, where they do appointments, a Zoom meeting with all the people in the program on the federal side on Friday mornings, 8 o'clock California time, so 10 o'clock Central, 11 o'clock Eastern. And they do teaching you all about all the benefits of the federal benefits for the employers you're going to be, or employees you're going to be talking to. They train you on the website and how to do your calendar. They talk about what are objections that they've seen, questions you're going to be asked. They actually have a software system that can run the full benefits for your federal for the federal analysis for the clients in between the first and second appointment. And then on Wednesdays, they have another required training, and that's on the fact finder and how to get the information, how that they're really teaching you what they did last year. And they've got a very, very well oiled machine that works very well. And they'll do role playing with you, everything like that. So there's a couple weeks of training before we turn on the appointments for you if you work in that federal space. If you are interested in that, reach out to your marketer, reach out to me following this. We'll get you information where you can get linked up, have a conversation with that couple out in California. They'll talk with you. If it's a good fit, we'll get you going on that right away. But here at IAMS, we also want to help you. We've got a lot of digital tools available for you. We've got a couple white papers, one on, Zoom meetings, virtual appointments, best practices, how to submit business digitally. We've got our digital marketing solutions. We've got a lot like doing business virtually guide, a lot of different things, like different suggestions and things to help you in that front. So encourage you to look into that stuff and really take those things, down and make notes and, because those will only help you as you move forward in these appointments. One other thing I thought you might want to mention is the overflow. Did you want to talk about that and then maybe talk about no-shows a little bit and what that process is like, John?
Yep. So with the online marketing and growth, it's always a balance between making sure that we're delivering to agents, getting enough appointments on their calendar. But agents are always changing their availability. As Laura mentioned, there's an easy way of blocking your availability if you're just working through your 10 appointments this week. And that makes, as we're creating, as our machine is moving to create more appointments and agents are less available, we have this thing called an overflow. And overflow will list all of our categories. So it allows you to not only pick up other appointments that may not be in your area that you want to try, or, like if you're in federal is the same benefit nationwide. It just gives you a chance to add more appointments to your calendar if you feel like you're not having enough. They're just a click away of adding more appointments, and it changes daily. I mean, like over the weekend we added a couple hundred, just because agents weren't available, but agents also select them. So it's something that you check once a day, and it's just new appointments that you can add to your calendar easily, besides the ones that automatically make it based on your preferences. As far as no-shows, I just backing up again, these are all exclusive leads that we start with, that we schedule with. We have some best practices across all teams at IAMS that are seeing 80–90% show rates. So no-shows are not necessarily a big concern. You're having the conversation, you're following up with no-shows. If you run into a number of them, we're going to try to help you get those best practices under control so that you're seeing those conversions. But the goal for us is to work with you one-on-one if we need to add some additional assets to help you offset any cost. Our goal is to work with you. So.
One thing I'll touch on that also, I mean, you think about some of these big lead vendors, you got Financialize, Advisor, World Advice, you're paying $300 for a name and a phone number and a little bit of information, right? You don't even have the appointment booked, nothing like that. And there's just as much chance they're not going to show as well, and you don't get your $300 back from Financialize. So, the fact that they're at $59, you're going to have some no-shows, and it's part of it. But the success you can have in this program, again, giving it that enough time, I'd say 20 to 30 appointments before you make a decision and whether this is a good fit. Someone did also ask about the cost of overflow. Overflow appointments are the same cost as regular ones. So, we've got agents who work in 7 to 10 different states, and they jump in that overflow all the time to grab additional appointments. So encourage you to consider that as well. And then one other thing I just want to mention, if you're going to get into this program, I mean, like I said, we do have training on the federal side, very in-depth training on that front. If you're looking in the 403B or the college universities, city and county workers, one thing I would mention on that front is you want to be educated before you turn on the appointments. I mean, do your homework. I mean, we don't have a training program in that because federal is the same everywhere. When you're working with school districts, it's different for each district, every state. It's a lot more education that you need to do on that front. So I encourage you to be well educated, do your research. Google is a great tool, believe it or not. Go out there and look up what the benefits are for this district. Look up what they have available for them, what their options are before you turn on those appointments. Because again, they're coming to you as you are the expert. So you really need to be prepared to be the expert with whatever questions they may ask. Oh, getting some feedback there. Anything else you wanted to add, John?
No, I think you covered. I think federal and if you haven't worked with public and federal employees before, you have individuals that are employed W-2 with a pension, and it's a great audience to work with that desperately needs more support and help. And there's the training that helps you understand what they have, so that you're more service oriented and you're more just showing solutions that really sell themselves. So it's a great market to be in if it's something that you're interested in, or if you already have experience with, even better. We can just help you get more conversations. But I think that's all I have.
Yeah, I think that's it. So before we get going, I am going to throw up. First of all, you're going to get an email from my assistant following. I know some people wanted me to send them recordings. So we did record today's webinar. So you will get a copy of that along with some additional information on the program. But if you are interested in getting going with the program, or, you want, a specific call we can get something scheduled, just go ahead and answer yes to that. Myself, I will reach out to you, schedule a time where we can get John on the phone if you have additional questions, things like that. If you're interested in the training program, let me know at that point on the federal side. We can get you linked up with Corey and Sandra for that training. I really encourage that. And then if you have any additional questions, you feel free to give me a call at any time. Again, John, I really appreciate you taking time today to join me, and I know there's some additional questions that have been coming in. I'll be sure to follow up with each of you individually as well. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and close it out for the day. If you answered yes, we'll be in touch. And regardless, you will get an email with the recording from Dustin in my office. So appreciate everyone coming to join us, and I hope you all have a great day.
Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.